Leaky gut for dummies. Alright, so here you have your intestines. And right next to your intestines is your blood vessels. Okay, this is 1 cell thick here because nutrients have to be able to get from the intestines into the blood vessels, but very only specific nutrients. So here you have inside the intestines, you have microvilli cells. They're like this. They're really close together. They have tight junctions. They're not actually connected, but they're so close together they look like they're connected. And the reason they have these finger-like appendages is so that there's more surface area for the food to go in and around to be absorbed from the gut into the blood vessels. Now everybody's heard of gluten and celiac disease and gluten intolerance, and there's a reason, because gluten is a lectin. And a lectin is a protein that can be only broken down to the smallest part. This is a protein, and it's made up of amino acids, and the body can chop off this, chop off this, chop off this, but what's left, this is as small as it can be chopped off. Okay, so this is a lectin, okay? So what happens is gluten equals lectin. Lectins come into the body, into the intestines, and they come into the intestines. And what happens is these lectins will go in between these microvilli cells, go into here and disrupt the tight junctions, okay? And this is bad. When this happens, these microvilli cells die and get hurt, and they can no longer do their job, which is absorption of nutrients. So the first thing that happens when you have lectins coming into your body is you have decreased nutrient absorption because the microvilli get damaged and they're not working as well as they should. The second thing is, what happens is when these lectins come through and wiggle through between the tight junctions of the microvilli, they poke holes in the blood-gut barrier, which is supposed to be super protective, right? So now you got a hole here, you got a hole here, you got a hole here, and this is actually called, this is what leaky gut is. So the other problem here now is leaky gut, okay? So the problem with this is that you have a barrier that's been penetrated and is open, and so not only do lectins get it through there, but bacteria gets through there, viruses get through there, fungi get through there, all sorts of things that don't belong in the blood vessels get transferred through this 1 cell layer thick. And now you have foreign bodies inside your blood vessels. So you have lectins, bacteria, viruses, fungi, all sorts of things like that. And so what happens is the immune system gets activated on high alert and says, hey, we've got foreign bodies inside our blood vessels. And what happens when the immune system goes out and attacks things? Just like when you get a sliver in your thumb, it gets red, it gets a little swollen, it gets some pus, and then you can squeeze it and the sliver comes out. Basically, that's the immune system sending inflammatory markers to inflammatory cytokines to combat this, lectins and the bacteria and the viruses and the fungi. And let's just note that you now have generalized inflammation because your immune system goes and attacks these with white blood cells and other cytokines. So now in your body you have generalized inflammation everywhere, from head to toe, fingertip to fingertip. You have generalized inflammation all throughout the body, and this is a very big problem. So since the immune system is on high alert at this time, there's another problem. Okay, up here in your neck you have your thyroid gland. All right, this shoots out thyroid hormones. In behind your stomach you have the pancreas, which has beta cells in it, and this shoots out insulin. Okay, so because the immune system is being overactive and hypersensitive right now, because you have all these foreign bodies throughout your entire blood system, the immune system says, hey, those beta cells, they look kind of like these foreign bodies that we have floating around in the blood. Let's go attack those. So the immune system attacks your beta cells, which decreases your insulin output, which equals, if you have no insulin, you have diabetes, right? It does the same thing with the thyroid, because the thyroid cells can look a little bit like the foreign bodies in the blood, and your immune system's super activated. So it says, hey, let's go get those thyroid cells too. And this can lead to the immune system killing the thyroid cells, causing autoimmune thyroiditis. Basically, you have autoimmune disease at this point. So this is why leaky gut is a bad thing. I hope that helps solve some questions, because this is a very confusing issue, but when you see it like this, I think it can actually help answer some questions and make it a little more clear. And this is why the paleo diet is so good for you, because it gets rid of these lectins and it gets rid of the leaky gut, healing your gut. If you do have leaky gut, there are some tests to do, an organic acids test, a food sensitivity test, and there are ways to actually fix leaky gut, including fermented foods like sauerkraut and kimchi. You could take serum-derived bovine immunoglobulins. You can take colostrum as well. So any questions, please feel free to email me and ask. Thank you.